Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Something just wigged out. Don't know why. Hi, I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. They're awesome. They make these possible. So go ahead and head on over and see the good work that they do. So for today, well, actually for yesterday, I guess, we had a 4-star map, surprise, through Ohio. So we're going to go over that. And then into today, I'm sure that's why a lot of you guys are here, Oklahoma City is in the risk for possibly some major hail into today. It is a complicated risk, and so we're going to go over all those complications as well as the possible outcomes into our forecast for this afternoon and evening. And then tomorrow, this system is going to shift over to the east. This is storm system ISLA. And as that continues to track eastward through the Mississippi Valley, we'll continue to see some more storms tomorrow. And so we're going to go over that risk. But as usual, before our awesome weather, we're going into our upcoming events. The first of those being the C3 Lunch and Learn that is being hosted here at Hail Trace on the 3rd floor of our building on May 10th. So if you guys want to come out and get some free lunch and talk to us, talk to the C3 Group and, learn about I can't read it from here, but they're going to be putting on an awesome presentation. So go ahead and get out to the C3 Lunch and Learn. And then after that, we're going to be at the Contractor Blueprint Seminar in Oklahoma City on May 13th. This one's at the River Oaks Golf Course. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to go ahead and get signed up for coming out to see us there. And then last but not least, this one's new, the Calm Before the Storm Golf Tournament. This is an annual tournament, so maybe you guys have seen us out there before, but this is going to be in Lakewood, Colorado at the Fox Hollow Golf Course. All the proceeds are going to charity. Let's see, it goes to the, I don't know what it is. Justin, do you know what that goes to?
It's like for kids that need.
Oh, it's for, okay, so it's going to for the kids that are needy, Justin said. So go ahead and get registered to that golf tournament on May 19th. You can come out to Colorado and see us there, play some golf, and do something good. So there's that. So that's all of our upcoming events there. And into yesterday, we had a ton of activity through the east. Plenty of hail and wind to go around here, specifically through the east coast for hail. Ohio got a couple of isolated storms and then one that really ramped up and took over here. So that's what we're going to go over for our hailstorm highlight. So this storm just kind of latched onto a boundary and started to produce 2.5-inch hail through the Lancaster and Zanesville area. And then it tapered off a little bit before moving into the Cambridge area. So impacted quite a bit of people. 24,000 homes were impacted with that through the area as this tracked northeastward. So, got one major hailstorm out of that, making this a 4-star map for yesterday through Lancaster, Zanesville, Cambridge, and Bloomville, Ohio. So go ahead and check out that map and find out more about that on our site. Then into today, we're looking at a possibility of seeing some significant weather through Oklahoma once again. I woke up this morning thinking it might be a repeat kind of what we saw on Monday, but the models have started to get a little bit more aggressive about putting some supercells through Oklahoma City, and so we're going to talk about all of that right now. So, if you're in Oklahoma, it's cloudy outside and it's been pretty cool all morning. That's not usually very good for severe weather. We've got this morning storm system that's moving off to the east and out of the way, and that continues to track eastward, and it'll help it warm up a little bit once we get that out of the way. And then the other major factor in this is going to be our warm front. So zooming on into Oklahoma here, we're getting that system pushed out of the way, and then we're going to get all that nice warm, unstable, and humid air that's coming out of the Gulf Coast. It's through Texas now, but then for Oklahoma, how far north can it get? We need that heat, we need that instability return to make its way all the way up into Oklahoma City to see that significant weather. Models have been hinting that that's possible into this afternoon, but the latest HRRR model has backed off a little bit, and we'll look at that in a second. So, it's possible if this warm front continues to push up to the north, and you can see it right there, right along the Red River, that warm front, 80 degrees in Dallas, 58 in Oklahoma City. If that can continue to race up to the north through the OKC metro area, then it's fully possible we could get some significant storms into this afternoon and evening. But storm initiation is expected in the next couple hours here, so we're really going to need to heat up very quickly into the next couple hours to see that happen. But it's fully possible that, that could be in the equation for this afternoon, so we really want to pay attention here. Oklahoma City dew point wise, plenty humid, 57 degrees in OKC, 68 in Dallas. You guys are both in the wrist, so if you guys are from DFW watching this, you know, it's storms for you too. That's fully possible into this afternoon and evening that we could get some significant weather in the DFW area as well. You know, and as this moisture and as that humidity and as that heat continues to stream up to the north, our chances get better and better as time goes on. We just don't have a lot of time before that storm initiation, so that's really what we're watching. So for our significant hail model, this kind of ties all of our parameters that we look for large hail into one nice pretty map here. So by 2 p.m., that's about the time that we're going to start to see things popping up through the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles. And you know, we're already working our way into those high values through Lubbock, through Amarillo, and up near the Guymon area. Starting to see some larger hail parameter values moving through there. As storms continue to develop and push off to the east, there we are by 5 p.m. Models have been showing that there will be a couple of leading supercells possibly tracking through DFW and OKC around 4 to 5 p.m. So, you know, around that time, we're starting to look at those moderate to high significant hail parameter values. So we could see some large stones falling out of those supercells if they can form far up to the north. Hey, okay, so here from DFW, so we got a forecast for you guys. We're going to show you that map here in a second. But that's what we've got by 5 p.m. when the chances are highest for Dallas and OKC to see singular large hail producers moving through the area. Then things are going to continue to track eastward from the Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma, Lawton and Wichita Falls. Really good chance for you guys to see some significant storm activity into tonight. Damaging winds possible, as well as large hail, and you could get some rotation as well, so you want to be on the lookout through that area. You know, you got those high significant hail parameters tracking through by around 7 as we get a couple of supercells making their way into southern Oklahoma. And then things should start to band up and track through OKC, through Tulsa, as more of a wind threat into the late evening and overnight hours. So all that tied up here in our future radar. Like I said, this is the latest HRRR or HRRR model run that we've seen, and it has backed off a little bit. The one previous to this and a few runs before that showed a couple of cells tracking through OKC and Dallas, and we can't fully discount those. But for the most recent model run, here's what we got. By 3 p.m., starting to see those storms tracking through Amarillo, through Colorado. You know, if you guys were wanting me to talk about Colorado, there you go. It's in the far southeastern part of the state, but it's something nonetheless. Could get some hail out of that. And then more storms developing out ahead of that system through DFW area, as well as starting to make their way into OKC by 3 p.m. So zooming in here, you know, this is these leading cells that could produce some large hail ahead of the rest of the system through the Texas Panhandle. And if you're from DFW, there you go. So this still is putting out a cell heading into the DFW metro area by around 3:30. You know, we've got the instability in the area for that to produce some large hail as well as some rotation. So wanting to watch that around the mid-afternoon hours. And then OKC is starting up around that time as well. And then as those continue to go, so we got those moving up into the south central part of Oklahoma ahead of that warm front. And then out near the dry line, models have been pretty consistently showing storms firing all along that dry line. You know, these look pretty nasty moving through into the western Oklahoma area. And as those continue to track east, you know, we could see some large hail. These don't look good. You know, we've already got those supercell shapes on radar for the future models. So, you know, we're really closely watching these two as they head towards Wichita Falls and Lawton. San Angelo, you guys also want to be on the lookout. We've seen this supercell consistently tracking in and around the area for later this evening and tonight. And this could be a large hailer as well. Then those are going to continue to move off to the east, starting to get really messy once we move up into OKC, more of a band by around 10 p.m. This could produce some hail, but also we're starting to pick up on our wind threat for OKC and Tulsa as those track through. Tulsa, there you go, by around midnight, starting to move into the thick of things. Could get some small hail as well as some pretty nasty straight line winds with this system that's starting to look like an MCS or a mesoscale convective system, as we like to call them. Basically just a very strong wind producer as this continues to track eastward into Arkansas for tomorrow morning, and then cue the Mississippi Valley risk into tomorrow, which we'll talk about here in a second. surprise, we also have a risk for the East Coast. So, through Virginia all the way into South Carolina, going to see some scattered storms into this afternoon and evening. Any of those by around 2 p.m. could start producing hail as, they track off to the east, really picking up by around 6 or 7 Eastern time. Going to see plenty of those scattered cells along the East Coast through the Virginia Beach area as well as the Wilmington area. And with those, as they continue to track eastward off the coast, we could see some gusty winds as well as some large hail. So just be on the lookout for that. But the bulk of our risk area is going to be the southern plains, and the largest hail size for that I think is going to be baseballs, maybe even larger. We just don't have a baseball in between tennis ball and softball. So expect some large hail, specifically in the Lawton, Wichita Falls area, but OKC and Dallas. You also want to be on the lookout this afternoon into this evening as we see some storms moving through there. So here's our storm ISLA hail forecast. Anywhere from the southern part of Kansas all the way into South Texas along the Rio Grande could see hail into tonight, as well as the East Coast. So jumping first into that East Coast risk, again, if you are from Virginia Beach all the way into Wilmington, scattered storms, so keeping everybody in the low end, but you could see some quarters to half dollars, maybe even a ping pong or golf ball mixed in there, but those are going to be with the strongest of the storms passing through the area, mostly going to stay very scattered and probably mostly quarters to half dollars. Then off into our main risk area for today with the largest storms. We're going to see those storms firing along the dry line through the Texas Panhandle, and that's when we get the chance to really ramp up into upwards of baseball size all the way from Amarillo really into Lawton. Wichita Falls is going to put you guys in a high risk for seeing hail into tonight, and if those storms can stay supercellular over you guys, could get some large hail as well. Amarillo, I think things are going to pass you as they're intensifying, so going to leave you in the low end chance to see hail for tonight. However, it's possible, if those storms form far enough to the west, then you're still in the risk. So low end chance for Amarillo. San Angelo, Del Rio, moderate chance for you with those dry line storms firing and tracking eastward. Then DFW and OKC, that's where, do I not have sound again? Justin? I can hear you. Oh, okay. I think I still have sound. Justin can still hear me, so you guys give me a thumbs up or thumbs down in the comments if anyone else can't hear me, but I'm going to keep going for now. So Oklahoma City and Dallas-Fort Worth, that's when things start to get a little bit more complicated. As those storms track eastward, it's really dependent on how far north that warm front can go and how far east those storms can get before they band up. Okay, sound is good, sweet. So, OKC, Dallas-Fort Worth, be on the lookout for tonight. Any storms could be significant, but it's really going to be very, very complicated for your setup. Tulsa and Fort Smith, lower end chance for you guys just because things should band up and become more of a wind threat as they track over your area. Then for wind, speaking of, we're going to see a similar risk area, but first going into our risk for OKC. So for 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., it's going to be a long time frame that you guys see storms possible. You're going to get those first bands possible with those leading storms around 4 p.m., and then it's going to continue as that band starts to make its way towards you, and then that should be out of your neck of the woods by around 2 in the morning. For our max hail size, could see up to 2.5 inches with any of those supercells that track over. Chance of seeing severe hail overall is moderate because, again, the complicated factors that we're seeing tonight. Wish I had better news, like I wish it wasn't more so conditional, but it is what it is. With that chance of 1 inch hail, we're seeing moderate, and then same with that greater than 1.75 inch hail, could see some large hail with any supercells that pass over you guys, but we're gonna have to wait and see. So then for our wind forecast, again, it's gonna be the East Coast as well as the Central Plains here. So, and then our best chance is going to be where that MCS starts to ramp up and we see that angry band of storms passing through OKC and Tulsa. So if you guys are along the East Coast where those scattered storms are, leaving a low chance, again, because it's scattered, but from Virginia Beach into Wilmington, could see some storms moving through that area with some gusty winds, probably mostly going to be straight line for you guys, but could get some strong winds along the East Coast states into this afternoon and evening. Then tracking back into Oklahoma and Texas, that's where things really start to pick up. So low end chance for Amarillo, San Angelo, Del Rio with those supercell singular storms that are tracking eastward. Then, again, as things start to ramp up, higher end chances for Oklahoma City and Tulsa to see some damaging winds tonight, as well as Wichita Falls in the moderate. DFW, low end chance for you. It looks like it's going to kind of skirt just to your north, but if it hits you, again, a chance for damaging winds with that. And then throw in those tornado icons on there as well, because there's plenty of rotation in the atmosphere to produce those possible supercells, as well as those MCS-induced tornadoes. So just tornadoes that are embedded with that line of storms. So definitely want to be on the lookout for that into tonight. That's going to be a very prevalent threat. And then our hail threat up north is a little more conditional, but also could produce some pretty impactful storms for OKC and DFW, as well as particularly Wichita Falls and Lawton. Then moving into tomorrow, we have another risk for the Mississippi Valley. Dallas-Fort Worth, don't go away yet. You're still in that one as well. So here we are by 8:30, get a second band of storms tracking through DFW. Those could produce some gusty winds. You're seeing that bowing shape, so that could produce some straight line winds for you. As the afternoon or as the morning begins to track along, we're getting this storm band moving into Fort Smith, another bow through there. So we could have some pretty powerful straight line winds heading into the Fort Smith area for tomorrow morning. That's going to continue off to the east into the Little Rock area, and that line is going to continue to ramp up and intensify as the heating from the day moves forward. Dallas is still getting hit with some possible gusty winds, as well as some small hail now, and that's going to continue off to the east, ramping up really through eastern Arkansas. So if you guys are in anywhere between Little Rock and Memphis, this doesn't look good for you guys either, as in terms of rotation as well as gusty straight line winds. Shreveport by around 2 p.m. could be getting some nasty weather as well. And any of this could produce some hail in addition to our gusty winds. So we're watching that. That's going to continue off to the east, kind of tapering off through the late evening, and then tracking off into the southeast by Friday morning. And then we'll have another risk for you guys to end the week. So it's going to be back to back to back here. We're really, shifting into spring. So for tomorrow, for our hail forecast, quarters to $50 possible anywhere from St. Louis all the way into southeastern Texas here. If you guys are in Springfield, Fort Smith, Memphis, any of you guys could get some small hail. Going to keep it on the lower end chance for you. But then, the bulk of things start looking like they're forming through Little Rock, Shreveport, as well as Houston. You guys could get the tail end of those storms, and with the tail ends of any of these systems, those tend to produce some surprise hailstorms. So putting Houston in the risk, moderate for tomorrow to see some hail, and anywhere through there has the best zone of instability, so ping pong to golf ball possible as well. Dallas-Fort Worth, it's a morning risk for you guys. That's not generally great in terms of instability. It's usually cool from the nighttime. So low end chance for y'all to see large hail, but it's not impossible that you could see some quarters to $50 as well. So that's what we have for our hail risk into tomorrow afternoon. Then for our wind forecast, it's going to be pretty much the same. We could see some really strong straight line winds, especially through the Arkansas area, as well as far northeastern Texas and Shreveport. With that band of storms that's tracking through, it looks like it's pretty solid. So could see some strong straight line winds with that, as well as our best area to see thunderstorms is going to be where that hatched risk is. That's where the most consistent model tracks have been. So Fort Smith and Little Rock could see some gusty winds, putting you guys in a high end chance for you. Shreveport moderate for you guys as that band tracks through. DFW, Houston, St. Louis, and Memphis, lower end chance for you as things start to get more scattered out near your way, and then morning storms for DFW, so low end chance for all of you guys, but gusty winds are still possible, and then tornadoes as well possible through the main part of our risk area, this hatched area here. So that's what we have for you guys for today and tomorrow. I know it's kind of a long forecast. There's just a lot to talk about. Derek may be live on TikTok, so I would definitely recommend hopping over from here to TikTok and checking us out at Hail Trace. He's doing storm chasing footage as well as his own discussion of what's going on today. So definitely check that out. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video, as well as that subscribe button on YouTube. Then if you guys want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details. And we'll keep you updated as the day moves forward on what the chances are. So, do your hail dances and stay tuned for more. And for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.